So just got done here singing here Santa Monica Pier, and then stuff came up that I need to talk about, get off my chest. It's my healing modality is live stream publicly the stuff in my heart, that not keep it inside, stuff that usually people keep inside. That's what I'm saying, is people putting a mask on, staying 6 feet inside, 6 feet away, and then people isolating, the whole thing about the quarantining, people not trusting each other because they're scared of being scammed, or frivolous lawsuits. And then that's the mental effect that has. So I'm doing the opposite. Some people feel they protect themselves by concealing information or deception. I knew this girl, I'm hearing something. This lady would put intentionally false information about her on her Facebook page. Like, she would post a picture of vacation from years ago and say she's going on vacation to mislead people. And she said she needed to do that in order to, protect herself. I'm the opposite. I like to speak honestly and accurately, the deepest, most, the dark secrets that people normally keep to themselves. I mean, hey, I'm a adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse, incest. I mean, that's the worst thing, But then I get deeper into what that is, what affected my YouTube channel, my YouTube, Facebook, movies I've made are the case study of what it's like being that for somebody, what life is like. We've documented it. Now, this thing I was about to say, so I'm not trying to get sympathy. I'm not playing victim. I'm just passing information. Now, some of this stuff is maybe sad, too sad. Thing is, I love who I've become because of it. Makes me stronger, and then that was the price I've paid for the pain I've gone through. Is the price I've paid for being who I am, and I love who I am. And there's preciousness in that, the deepness through this video library I have, documentation of what it's like, making movies out of it. I think I contribute to society, to others who've been through that, having gone through my challenges, and then processing it the way that I do, having training in healing and psychology. I feel there's value in this that I impart to others. As David Wiscott used to say, you find out what your gift is and you give it away. And that's what I do. My YouTube channel isn't monetized, and back on Pacific Coast Highway, we're heading back to the valley. So the thing that's going on is, I used to be my dad was alive. I had the extended family on my dad's side, extended family on my mom's side. My sister was alive, so we were every week, every weekend, every week, several times a week, we would visit extended family. Have every Thanksgiving we would gather together, and I had a choice: either go to the extended family on my dad's side or on my mom's side, and have Thanksgiving dinner, have and then my Armenian, we have kuku plov, which is a very one of my favorite dishes. It's like kind of greens, parsley, leeks, cilantro, the egg. Sometimes they bake it, they fry it. It's circular, like a big frying pan, and then they cut it slices just like a pizza. So the kids were saying it's Armenian, calling it Armenian pizza, though it doesn't have any pepperoni in it. It's just greens. There's no, no bread, so. And then so we gather every birthday, every Thanksgiving, and then we would celebrate all of them. We have Armenian Christmas, which is on January 5th. We would celebrate that. We would celebrate the one on the American, the Western calendar on December 25th, New Year's, and we would say, look, how many times are we going to celebrate? The holidays. Are we going to celebrate Hanukkah too? The whole bunch. And then Zadig is our Easter. We will celebrate that. All of the whole bunch. Like every week we were doing this stuff. So then now I don't have that. This is the whole point. Like COVID started, my extended family on my dad's side was offended that when they found out I'm living with more than one woman. I remember distinctly my aunt going, Zeke, 2 women, like it's some kind of like atrocious thing. 2, like she couldn't believe it. You living with 2 women, she would go like this. So, and there's reason why that is, because I didn't have the mother that I should have gotten. Going through life looking for the kid inside me, looking for the good mother didn't have. And then most of my life was living with my mom and my sister. And then actually when I was 12, sexual violation occurred, and this one insisted both of them were involved. And the people telling me that the reason I want to live with 2 women is like I'm recreating the trauma to get it right, to heal it. Kind of like Rambo, he's comes back from Vietnam War. It's long gone, but then he's in that forest, and he's recreates the war and and then they bring in the only person who can understand it, the lieutenant who trained him, comes back and try to talk him out of it, help him put the war aside, like PTSD from the war and things. So this thing now, it's like there's no extended family on either side. Everybody's gone. They won't talk to me. The ones that remain won't talk to me. And there's other reasons why that's going on. One of them, on my mother's side, mom made lots of big kerfuffles, yelling and things, so everyone's scared to talk to each other. Everyone's isolating. And then mom has this condition, she goes out and yells very loud. Mom's been verbally abusive whole life. People look at a video of her yelling and says, oh, is that dementia, or when you get older, some of these conditions. No, she was always like that. She was like that because when she was a kid, they were survivors of genocide. The older brother had died. They wanted a boy. They kept getting girl. So they had like 3 girls. Every time they wanted a boy, they got a girl. They kept getting really, really disappointed. When she was born, they were calling this horrible insult, cocklashalan, which is like, if you were only toilet paper, we could flush you down, but you're a human being that was stuck with you. We can't flush you down, but you're just as bad as toilet paper, something like that. And she was told that, marked with that repeatedly since birth. So at some point, she would get that, And then I was born 3 months premature. When I was 6 months old, 6 months fetus was born. Put in that incubator, what do you call that? And then when I should have been having skin to skin contact with my mother. And then so now, condition I have, hyperverbal, hypersocial, hypersexual, because of that. And then the emotional incest, because she enjoys that, getting that reaction out of me. Because when you're a kid and you don't get attention from your mom, you know, the only thing love you get is scolding when you do something wrong, and that feels like love to you. And she doesn't get attention from you other than hurting you to trigger you, get you angry. And then so I spent thousands of dollars on healing sessions, and these healing sessions wouldn't last the healing because she was re-inflicting the wounds intentionally. And so there was the healing sessions I got from Janet Richmond. For 5 years I was fighting with her, and so it turned into spiritual abuse. She was telling me, I have the recording on my YouTube, that she was telling me, you Judas, because I was arrogant, to compensate for the childhood injury. What happened when you're a kid, you hurt, that you're wounded, so the mind subconscious creates a idealized self-image, super self-image, a hero. And then so she was feeling that and calling me Judas, so that would be, and then so I was devoted to her because of that. And then she started abusing me, taking advantage of me financially, verbally, abusing me. And then a lot of instances of sounding like, I'm not comfortable with this, I don't want to go there. She was saying the higher selves are saying you meant to do this, like making me feel important, so I would go. And then, okay, so that's enough. She started scolding me about 2 years ago, every paid session, that Zeke, you're bringing this on yourself, you shouldn't play victim, you're drawing it in. So, and then she had stigmatized every other thing other than what she was teaching. She said, don't use the word God, don't use the word prayer, that Marius was this entity that was who Jesus was. It's come back and said they got it all wrong, the Bible got it all wrong, they misinterpreted his message to the world, and then he's back to correct it. So don't use the word God, it's all filled with falsehoods, that's fapping society, the world, all the Christians. All of these things she was stigmatizing. She would say she wouldn't like any other source of, any other modality we brought in. She said she wouldn't like it. She had her own terminology to use, that the higher self was. She was always saying the higher self is saying this stuff. And then at some point she told us, you can't talk about this stuff on your YouTube channel because it's copyrighted. And that if you want to talk about it, you have to mention my name, otherwise it's plagiarism. And there's rules against that, as you know, Zeke, she told me. And I have that text conversation, message conversation. And then so we all had to take this certification course, so that when we're discussing this stuff to other people, we get it right. And then we would have to give her royalties for it's like then it became a pyramid scheme. She turned it into a franchise, like she turned God into a egg muffin. And then so now other part of this, because of the childhood incestual sexual abuse, I started saying my house is sanctuary for traumatized women, kind of jokingly, but then there were a lot of women there who had childhood sexual abuse. Tanya was one of them, who had actually had an abortion from baby she had from her own dad. And I have her talking about that. There's Tanya, Karina, and the other girls there. Not just girls, there's a whole bunch of people who had mental condition, childhood trauma. A lot of them had narcissism, like my mom. And then I got verbal abuse. And then the one girl that came in was a tenant scammer, criminal tenant scammer. She couldn't get help because if she got help about the abuse that she had gotten, she was involved in a lot of crime. She was committing crime there, but she was doing the crime in a way that it's not in the penal code. So she had all these engineered methods, gaslighting methods. So because it's not a violation of the penal code to gaslight somebody, to screw with someone, said she was in my house for a year and a half, starting October 2020. I finally was able to evict her, all as difficult as it was because of COVID. I'd gotten her healing session at the time with Janet, paid $100, get a healing session with Janet. She triangulated with Janet, told her horrible lies about me, turned her against me. She's an expert at playing victim when she's the perpetrator. The scamming method, I've documented all of it, all the gaslighting methods. She was getting cops to help her, and then Janet was all the time scolding me, saying, you shouldn't play victim. And then the two of them were talking together, triangulating. And so Janet had turned against me. The reason Janet turned against me, other than the scammer had told the lies about me, was that I was in later sessions saying in the group the stuff I was hearing her say didn't sound true to me. And so she was telling me she doesn't mind, and I cried one of these times. I was telling her I felt like I was betraying her. And she was saying she wouldn't mind, she would never kick me out, and she'll never stop me from saying what I'm saying. But then that's when that abuse started, the spiritual abuse, that method of scolding me, saying, Zeke, don't play victim, you drawing it in no matter what I said. And she was telling me this when the scammer was calling her, having sessions with her, telling her bad things about me. And I've let her, the scammer wrote to me a note that says, having talked to somebody that knows more about you than I do, and there's a bunch of stuff. And the two of them were talking, triangulating against me. She tried to get my girlfriend against me, but she couldn't. She tried to get her to leave. She couldn't until later on. But then because my girlfriend didn't join with her against me, she called her a traitor, and she killed a dog when the police were there, refusing to enforce the restraining order I had against the scammer. And then the scammer, while we were arguing with the police, walked out with my girlfriend Tanya's body, the dog, little dog she had brought from South Carolina, 10-year-old dog. That was the only thing she had that she brought. She had left the family in South Carolina, brought the dog over, and the scammer knew about it. The two were always talking, had sessions talking to each other, where she was finding out what her, for the purpose of what she just did. If she couldn't turn her against me, then she did that to her, and she turned my channel against. She goes, studies your heart, your life, tries to destroy it, your life, and then with gaslighting, try to provoke you to do something that then she can use to blackmail you or get you arrested or sue you. Always threatening with frivolous lawsuit. And so she was doing this as a method. I went to Tarzana Treatment Center. Perpetrators group found out this is what they do. Scammers use these methods to take over property using tenant protection law. And the police were obviously helping her. And some people say they know about this. Some people say they can't believe it, but it's there documented in my YouTube channel. You go to wakeupamerica.world, not com, not gov, .world, WORLD, wakeupamerica.world. It's documented. The police using the authority, the uniform, the handcuffs to triangulate with a tenant scammer who's a gang member to occupy a house for the purpose of gaslighting the occupants, doing drug deals, prostitution, there all kinds of crime. And then later on, even though I've evicted her, there's identity theft attack aggressive being done for 2 months against me. They stole my wallet, a whole bunch of things, and a whole bunch of credit cards and thousands of dollars of charges. Got LifeLock to protect myself and trying to recover. That's the whole story, accurately and honestly. I just told you. But there's so much more. That's just the synopsis of it. So, and I went through it without trying. I'm clear now. I'm clear. I'm able to articulate this. I speak the truth honestly and accurately. I don't hide stuff. I don't use false reasoning. I speak honestly and accurately everything. So my purpose is to publicize this stuff, making movies out of it, reality show, and then I'm singing karaoke. I would like to get on in the get into show business, get these movies out, send them into film festivals. If I could have somebody help me with the movies, somebody who makes movies, apply to LA Film School, music school, get on America's Got Talent, a whole bunch of things I can do to